Warren Hall. So let's look at Jeff McMillen first, and I wish we could use the way. Oh, we have that like the Wayback Machine. Can we use that? I want to compare. Waybackmachine.com. Hey Sean, how you doing, man? Good to see you. This is not the right page. Wayback Machine. Archive.org/web. So, oh, this crazy URL. I recall that from before. It's nuts. Jeff, come on. Jeff here, by the way? Jeff, dude. So if I just type in this page, is that where it sends me? That's so crazy, man. What is this? Have you guys seen that right now? Can you see what I'm looking at? It's probably small on your page. Or on your feed. But like, it's www.jmcmillenmusic.com/www.jmcmillenmusic.com/composition.html. It's crazy. I got mixed feelings about that. But let's go to this page anyways. I'm really curious what it looks like a while back. Oh. Because we saw this page 5-6 months ago. Do we have a snapshot? We have one from April. Ooh, I don't know if that's going to be representative. I just don't know. Inception right there. No kidding. Oh, okay. No, okay, this is like... this looks familiar, actually. Here's his old page. Here's the old one. So if you recall his page, it was basically a lot of stuff first. If you were here a long time ago, I'm not sure how many people were here a long time ago, but this page used to look like this. This looks pretty accurate to what I reviewed last time around with Matt. So it was all this text first, and we were like, dude, nobody cares until they have a reason to, and that's that. This is like the videos, of course. That's fine. There's all that stuff up top and all these things. There's tons of stuff. And we were like, dude, no. Pull it back. Dial it back. And nail it down to what we got to know. So, it's testimonial first. Okay. First off, we got the bar up top here. And by the way, I should probably say first, if you haven't been to Real Talk before, we're looking at pages and reels based on these criteria. So we look at presentation, material selection, content quality, and distinction. So presentation being not only the reel, but the whole website as a whole, in terms of just what it looks like and navigation, and the reel itself, like how it kind of flows from front to back, and what the titles look like, and just is it nice to look at? Is it getting the point across? It's a good tune, like it a lot. Material selection is looking at all the content of your reel and saying, is this accurately representative of your skill sets, and is it getting the point across, and is it conveying what you want to be doing in the industry, and that kind of thing. And is it diverse enough? Is it too narrow of a breadth of work? And then content quality is whether it's good or not. If it's not, I'll try to help you out as far as how you can improve that. And distinction is, are you standing out at all? And it's kind of hard to talk about what that is. It can be a variety of things. And really the whole point is that there's a huge just sea of competition out there. And it's really important to be standing out in some way, whatever that way might be. We've had a lot of different people have different kinds of distinction in the past, like with Barney Orum's 100 Hours of Recording blog that I still recall, even though it was months ago I looked at it, and Ashton Morris's sick pixel site, and etc., right? It's really kind of up to you as far as what you want to do to distinguish yourself amongst your peers. But you have to. If you don't, you're going to be lost and outgunned. So let's look at Jeff McMillen's page first. Quick browse. Real quick overview. This front page, look at this, compared to before, on that Wayback Machine, it just went down forever, right? So this is much more concise. And portfolio, we got composition, sound design, implementation, the archive. Oh, I recall that from before, yeah, in the bio. Okay, yeah. So, let me go to the bio first. What you should know, the tweets. Here he is. I met Jeff at Game SoundCon, by the way, kind of briefly, but it was a nice little chat. Hey, Barney boy. What you should know, name, Jeff, occupation, Composer Sign Designer Implementor. Software proficiencies. Finale, Sibelius. This is a typo, dude. Sibelius. GarageBand, Logic Express, Reaper, FMod Studio, Wise, Unity, Reason, Maxim SP. VST proficiencies? Yeah, like this, I don't really care about this stuff so much. Like, I don't really care what you use. And I think most people don't in general. Like, if you can get... Here's the thing, like, we often get a question as... And by we, I mean like anybody as a professional working in audio often gets the question, I'm sure many of you have as well, is like, which DAW is the best? Which software is the best? What should I start learning on? Like, dude, use whatever you can make happen for yourself, you know, like whatever you're comfortable in. I mean, I use FL Studio occasionally, I use Pro Tools, I use other software for different tasks and problems to solve, right? But no one's gonna hire me because I use SoundForge and not like Amadeus or something, or not Isotope or RX or whatever. No one's gonna care as long as the work's getting done. So this kind of thing is probably just taking up space. And also occupation is like, I mean, it says right here, we literally have to go here first before getting to the bio, so I don't think you need to put this here either. Like, we know, man, it's not important. And we also know you're Jeff McMillen, so this whole thing is like, it reads like a resume, kind of. But yeah, I don't know. The resume being on this side is like kind of weird to me, because like it's not really a bio. Like, this is literally this is like a resume form of a bio, and it's kind of weird to me to have a resume here on your site in this sense. Like, having this here is important. Where you're from and stuff, yeah, like do a little bio where it's like, here is me, here's my background. Like if I go to, I don't know, how about Barney Orum's page? Barney Orum sound design. Let's find this page right now. So Barney Orum, boom, here it is. So that's nice. It's like, here's what I'm doing, here's where I'm working, here's where I'm living, and that's it. And that's really all you need to know. Like, past that, I don't care if he uses Reaper or something. Like, it's not that important to me if I'm hiring him. That's the kind of thing I could ask in a follow-up question if I need to, you know? Yeah, so Metrazol says, one paragraph of, hey, I'm Jeff, I do stuff and things in Texas and stuff, and I went to school at a place and I like llamas. Yeah, I totally agree. That's it A, takes up less space, it B, has really all you need to know. Like, what you should know is that. Past that is like, this is still kind of suffering from what the problem was on the front page before, and that there's a lot of information here and doesn't need to be here. Yeah. Oh, so it's down here now. Inspired by. So here's the bio, actually. Weird. I didn't even see this part. So there you go. It's like, this doesn't need to be that. Like you're saying, Jim McMillen Music, you're founder owner. We can assume that safely. Lead composer and sound designer. We can also assume that safely because you have composition and sound design up top. Like, it just seems like you could probably trim it down a lot more, just to make it really concise and tasteful and everything, right? And pull it down a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Trim it down, man. Trim it all down. Archive is all your past stuff, right? Whoa, what is this page? Is it still loading? Okay. We're good. I recall this from before, yeah. Just a bunch of stuff you worked on. Yeah, okay, cool. Sure. I think we talked about that last time, so I'll skip it this time around. And now, I'm on Archive, and I can't... Oh, I can. Oh, hello, ABC Dog. The question with websites like this, too, is how much of this is actually up to date, and how much do you want to have to keep up to date? There's a lot of shifting information that can become stale over time. Yes, that's my brother, by the way. Agreed 100%. It's just a lot of stuff. And that was kind of the case before, Jeff. And it's still somewhat the case, but it's definitely better. So let's look at the front page here. This up top, like, yeah, I don't know, I got mixed feelings with this bar even, but and just presentation-wise, this stuff is kind of weird to me. Like, I know where I am right now, but this being a second thing and not like top thing is weird to me. Not like the header, and then these are kind of pulled from wherever, and they're really obvious because the resolution is different than everything else in your site, and it sticks out. So that's kind of a bit of an issue. So I would even, if you can scrounge up the cache, you have a lot of good content here. I think you could just like hire a web designer and be like, I want a site, and just get something more attractive and really kind of trimmed down and concise and such, right? All right, so let's get into the reels. This is now sample reel number 3. Number 3? Where's number 1 and 2? Date created. Sample reel number 3. Wow, number 3. I think you could just call it composition reel, man. Like if it's the whole point of the reel, right, is to be like, this is an encapsulation of all my composition ability currently. That's what your reel is for. Number 3 is weird to me. just make it your reel, man. Done. And get rid of your old ones because they're no longer as relevant, right? Like if I see your current reel, I don't know why I want to see your old reel, because your old reel is not representative of your current ability, right? So I'm also not going to look at this one for the time being because it's music. We'll go to sound design instead. Sound design. What's in implementation? What's here? Is it the same thing? Yeah, this is like taking a lot of space, man. I understand why it's there, because you want to have the testimonial right up front, but the thing is, like, it's just right in my face every time. It's kind of, I don't know. Could probably live somewhere else. Maybe in contact or something. I don't know. Implementation. First, middleware demo showcasing my proficiencies. F1 Studio, Unity is now live. Click the link below to download the file. I'm not going to do that. It created the page to showcase my best, most diverse music and audio work. Please feel free. Like, is that on every page again? Okay, yeah, so this is... Alright. So these links are changing like in the center of the page, like from here to here, basically. Yeah, the navigation on this page is really hit and miss, man. I got really mixed feelings about it. Sound design. Effect reel 2. Again, same note regarding, like, it's your reel, period. And that's that. So, let's talk about this one. First off, minute 21. Let's go full volume. Let's play it through. I'm going to crank this back up. Sorry, Oakless. We'll crank this guy back up. And we're going to have a listen to... Not Barney Oram. To Jeff McMillen. Barney Orm's fine. He's good. We'll listen to Jeff McMillen. Let's go full screen. Oh, I can't need to go to Vimeo first. Full screen. Full screen. I'll turn my mic off as usual, and volume's up. Everything's good. Let's finish the sentence and then press mute. Okay, let's do it. For those of you who have not been here every single time, we tend to watch the whole reel through regardless, but we'll stop I'll tell you if I'd stop watching. I probably would have started skipping through around the 15-20 second mark. So I'll let it keep playing, but I would have stopped by now. So we'll keep going. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Is Jeff here, by the way? I feel like... I don't know. And by the way, I saw Metrozol asking about, is Real Fall 2016 better or just Real? Well, depends how, I mean, like ABC Dog was saying, it's kind of on the same note as how often are you willing to update? Because if you're going to update really often, then the date's fine because it'll always be current, right? But the problem is, so Kid Coexist, Gleek, that's, who's that? They're in, what, Austin, is that right? I know Gleek, I can't remember his name though. It's like 3 people, right? Used to do the date thing. Shh. Okay, hold up. Oh, what's up? 1 second, friends, 1 second. Except... Oh. So Jeff McMillen has sent me a Hangouts request. So I might be chatting here or something. I don't know what's happening. We'll find out. I'm gonna sit that right there. So yeah, so like my brother was saying, that if you have things that aren't getting updated, then it shows, and then your stuff looks dated. Matt Pearsall, thank you. That's maybe a problem, and it's not a huge issue, but I mean, if you just have sound effects real, period, people can probably still look at like the upload date, right? It's like from 3 weeks ago, so it doesn't really matter that much. If it's embedded, then it wouldn't necessarily be as obvious, but people could check very easily to see like how recent this is, right? Okay, what's up, kid? Cool, thanks, Bobby. So the dates like don't really bother me so much, because if it's like freaking awesome and 3 years old, then I can only assume you're at least as good or better now, you know? So I don't think dates really affect me that much, because it's going to be publicly available as far as information regardless. So let's talk about Matt's thoughts. This is Matt Martinson's thoughts on the site. First, he says, website on first open looks and feels a bit dated. Could use some polish. I was saying that. Has an amateurish feel to it. The amateurish feel, it's not saying anything about your sound skills per se, but could start people off on the wrong foot in the back of their mind. Absolutely. And in Twitter bio, it says, oh, I didn't see this. Let's have a look at that. In the Twitter bio, it says, okay, new tab. Good job. I'm glad it does that. It doesn't open the same tab. It says novice audio implementer. He says, I wouldn't call you out. Sorry, I wouldn't call out.
The mind cannot withstand such an assault.
The mind cannot stand such an assault. Thanks, Brontosaurus. What's up, Braun? Is that Daniel? I can safely assume that's probably Daniel. In Twitter bio, I wouldn't call out being above your own skill level, but I also wouldn't point out being of a lower skill level. Yeah. Like, just starting out. So he says, I'm sure you're just trying to be honest, Jeff, but I wouldn't point it out that hard, and I totally agree. It's kind of a common thing in many industries to say, yeah, I can do that, and then you don't let them see you sweat, and you sweat later outside the room, and you just get it done. That's fine. And of course, you don't make promises you can't keep, but if you gotta, say, yes, I can do that, and then spend the next week not sleeping and learning how to use Fmod so you can do it, then so be it. That's fine. I wouldn't say, by the way, I'm a novice. I don't think that's gonna help you get any work. Good point, Matt. Thanks, man. I didn't see that. Okay, so of course, sound design. Matt says, I'm going with sound effect real 2. Yeah, so real number 2. The number 2 is strange for presentation. He says, over a minute, so it's losing points right away. Hell yeah, minute 21 is a bit too long. It's not horrible, but it is the same thing for the entire reel. So it's probably a bit long. Let's see. So Jack Marone says, question, how are these demos made? Yeah, good question. So the next thing Matt says is no titles on this reel, so he has no idea what he's listening to. Is he listening to a linear redesign? Is this a game that you designed and it's now like you did the Fmod implementation in this game, or is it some kind of demo you found online or something? I have no idea. So that's probably an issue. There's also no title card at the front. You may have seen me kind of look surprised when I started it. Look at this. It just starts. There's nothing starting here. That's really dangerous, Jeff. I mean, this kind of information, It doesn't need to be so long. It's quite long at the end. It does not need to be that long. Because keep in mind, I can do this, right? I can pause it, and that's no problem at all. I have access to this information, whether it's a second long or 10 seconds long. It's the same thing. I can choose to have it paused, right? So right now we have 10, 11 seconds of post real time. It's a bit much. I go like 3. 3 is all you need on both sides. And it says visuals are the property of the respective owners, but like who are the owners? I don't know what that is. So a title on the thing would really help with that a lot. Like on this clip, saying, you know, this is Game X by Studio Y, and I did a linear redesign or something. Then that would be a lot more informative, because otherwise I have no idea what I'm looking at, and guesswork is not a good thing. So yeah, so Matt in the distance, music. Kill off the music in the sound design reel. Yes, of course. So Matt was not a fan of the music, nor am I. Especially if you have a composition reel and a sound design reel, you can afford to have like the music on one of the reels and the sound design on the other reel, you know? And we've said it before, but the moment that you put music into your sound design reel or sound effects reel, people begin to wonder how much you're leaning on the music to carry the piece. And it's kind of an issue, because if you can't tell what's happening entirely for sound design, then you can't get a good read on what your skill level might be, or what your abilities might actually be on a gig. So kill your music. So he says no title card, no titles on the clip. Yes, as usual, needs more ambience, of course. Just more left and right, man. It's a lot of what's in front of us, but not much of what's around or potentially not on the like in front of the camera, right? So we want to build a world, not just sync up sound effects at all times. Finally, at the end, it says it's a redesign, but still never says what it was. Yeah, totally. It says way, way, way too long. These 3 ways. Way, way, way too long for this being one game clip. Yeah. Being one clip is a bit bold, unless it's a very, very action-packed clip that has a lot of change throughout it or something. Having one clip alone for a minute and a half is like, I mean, like I said, at 20 seconds, I was like, okay, I got it. And I can probably move on to this point, right? The rest didn't really give me any new information about your abilities. It was just more of the same. So to fix that, that's kind of into the material selection bit. But, oh, and Matt says, would have noped out around 20 seconds. So there you go. Oh, man. I feel like Matt and I are a good pair for some reason. So overall, kind of felt the sound design was weak and missing elements just all felt kind of small. Doesn't really feel like this is a very good showcase. Nothing really wows me into wanting to dig more into this person's work. All right. So there's Matt's brutal, perhaps, feedback, but as usual, right? So that said, let's look at... So presentation-wise, we said, just to recap really fast for you, Jeff, who is watching, I assume, according to Google Hangouts, there's no title card at the front, so say, give your name and this card, basically. Put this card here at the front for like 3 seconds, and that's fine. And then play this for probably less time, and then fill some other things in here, whatever they might be, and then show that card again, and that's your reel, okay? As far as, hey, Matt Esk is here. What's up, buddy? There he is. Welcome. I just finished reading through all your notes, man. Thanks a lot for your help. So, for material selection, this being a redesign only doesn't really tell me a lot about what you want to be doing or what you're capable of doing, because of A, the music background and it kind of leaning on the music, and B, because it's one thing only. So, like, do you want to do this kind of game and nothing else? Like, do you want to do mobile stuff? Do you want to do AAA stuff? Do you want to do casual games or indie games or whatever? This doesn't tell me any of that. So you need to realize that I might not read anything else on your page except for just what you show me in the reel, and that's it. It's kind of, we're always saying that you get 10 seconds of people's time, and if you have not told them any reason to stay past that point in 10 seconds, then you might be done with their time, and they're gonna move on. So as far as material selection goes, you've got like this massive archive, man. I mean, I haven't looked at it in detail, It's a bit daunting, to be honest, but I mean, it's pretty extensive. So is that just because you've done mostly music? I'm assuming that's probably the case. Because like, let's just take a real quick glance at the composition reel here. Yeah, I'm not gonna listen to the whole thing through, but we'll just skip through. We've got this opening. Oh, it's all the same clip though. Okay, so there's no visuals. So that's probably an issue too, actually. But for material selection, I'd recommend doing more redesigns, period. Because if you've got a redesign here and you like doing that, then pick more games and more of the kinds of games you want to be working on and redesign those. And recognize that they're going to be compared to the original as well. So you got to do it in an interesting way or better way than the original. And it hopefully should be varied to show your versatility in different kinds of environments, sound-wise, and just development-wise. As far as content quality, Matt mentioned that things are kind of weak and it was missing elements here and there. I did like the UI a lot, though. The UI was really cool. Like the blip, blip. Those sounds, the blip, blip, blip. That's nice. The brrr. That sound, though, the brrr. I felt like it's kind of low. It's not the same kind of broadband frequency content as it is for the rest of the UI sound, so it felt out of place. But like it's missing highs, basically. This stuff, though, felt kind of, I don't know, it could be a lot more full as far as frequency goes. Like it's missing the beef, you know? Like, whoosh. I mean, these are big, powerful attacks, so you want to convey that power. Yeah, I mean, in general, it's Shoes Barney, thanks a lot. Thanks, Derek. In general, if you listen to the different kinds of frequency makeup of the sounds, like with those highs or lows or both or neither, or mids or whatever, right? If you listen to them, they kind of meander a lot. So you got this move in and the hit, I guess, is that kind of like, it's really higher up. And then we've got watch the spin and the kick. It's like a really low kind of drum or something. So it's A, much quieter than the, and B, it's like a completely different frequency content than the previous sound. So they kind of sound like they don't belong together because of that. Excuse me, because of that. So if you have it where it's like, and they're both kind of occupying the same space, then they'll seem like they belong together, right? But until they do, or until they do, they probably will have a hard time feeling like they're A, powerful, or B, appropriate for the scene, or C, made for the same purpose. And yeah, so Matt says that thump was not thumping what I thought was, that thump was not thumping what was thumped. Man, I cannot read that. Yeah, so that's kind of the gist. The UI sounds really good, man. I like the UI a lot because it's kind of occupying the full spectrum. But otherwise, it could use a lot of work. Distinction-wise, I mean, it's one clip, and it's not really showing me a lot of what you're capable of for sound design. It's showing me some, but not a lot. And because it's not showing me a lot, it can't show me more than that. Like, I can't really stand out more than that. So it's tough to stand out without having an already like solid foundation sound design wise, and I think there's a lot of work to do here before we get there. But I think that it's definitely, your site in general is a lot better than it was before. So thanks a lot for those improvements, and thanks again for just like submitting again. That's really cool. I'm glad to see you again. And I think that's probably enough for this one. Matt was talking about the composition reel. If you didn't see it there, he was saying that this is basically the same thing as like a SoundCloud link at this point. It's just the same stuff. And the thing is, so here's another thought. If you're going to do this as well, I would not turn those titles off because look what I'm doing. I'm skipping through. And I get to hear, what is this? It's, okay, there it is. Track, crash and burn or freeze, game, the wreck. Oh, I missed it. Yeah, so I don't know. Be careful about this kind of thing, man. Yeah, and then like also this just being a branding thing, like this is not the same as your other card elsewhere. So I think that in general you could just, it would be a good choice, I think, to hire somebody who is or collaborate with somebody who works in design to get your site looking a little more polished up, because it certainly can't hurt. So thanks a lot for that, guy. Thanks, Jeff. Some claps in the chat, please. Some applause. Thanks a lot for your submission. Let's look at